I'm Tanya Penny, self-love catalyst, vibrant body, and abundant life coach. And it really is my passion and purpose, one of my passions and my purpose, to be here teaching and supporting you today, and hopefully for many of you throughout 2017. So whether it be healing your body, which most of you are here because you have some sort of health issue, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally. You might also have experienced past trauma or abuse. And you also really desire having more in all areas of your life. Love and relationships, spirituality, money, living your passions, your purpose, which we're going to dive into today. And that self-connection, acceptance and love, and worth, which is huge. So that's why you are here. That's why you're part of the community, and that's why I'm here, is to be a part of that and be your guide, your teacher, your support. So in today's 30-minute class, 30-minute or so class, we'll begin to dive into this month's key topic, which is living your passions in purpose. Fully, I'm going to correct myself, fully living your passions in purpose. Because many of you, I know, are to some extent already living some of your, making some time for your passions, and maybe you're making some time for your purpose, your business, career, volunteer, whatever it is, but you're not fully doing it perhaps. And yes, we can still quote unquote suffer, right, if we're not fully living it. So there again is no outline. Just grab a notebook and pen or open a computer document if you choose. Maybe you just want to listen along today. That's up to you. I highly recommend you write down any questions or ahas while you are listening, whether it's live today or the replay will be available for a short period of time for those those of you who are in the free community. Blah, blah, blah. So write down your questions or ahas, and if you are on the webcast, you can submit them to the left of the screen. Please, with your first name and email, and I'll be able to take hopefully 1 to 2 questions at the end of today's live class. And if you don't get them answered on class, you can, if you're part of my Vibrant Body Abundant Life Mastery program, you can submit them in our private Facebook group. You can save them until our long class that happens, I believe, on January 18th this month, our 90-minute long class where you get personalized coaching and guidance and recommendations and all that good stuff. Or you can email them to me, Tanya@tanyapenny.com, if you are one-on-one client or a small group client. So, as always, for those of you who want more support, more tools from me in 2017, I highly recommend you check out the Vibrant Body and Abundant Life Mastery program. So lots of you are on the webcast today. I recommend there are 2 buttons to the left of the screen. One of them is for Vibrant Body Abundant Life. The other one is for Virtual Business Mastery. Now, Virtual Business Mastery is for those of you who are coaches and healers, creatives even. And Vibrant Body and Abundant Life Mastery is included in that program. So go check those out and see if it's calling to you this year. If I might be that coach, or one of these programs might be your next step. One of the big things that I talk about in all of my programs, and again I'm going to talk about it today, is really getting that support to fully live your passions and purpose. We're not here to do this alone, especially the purpose part for a lot of you. So you can do that, and there are 3 program options. Let's see, what else do you need to know? There's a live 90-minute class every month. You get the private Facebook group. You get lots of bonuses, and even one-on-one or small group coaching from me if you choose. So check out those links, and if it's calling to you, definitely join by January 11th, because you can still receive the Co-Create 2017 bonus. I had such amazing feedback. It was such a good class that I know it would really benefit a lot of you to have that, as well as the special guided TMP practice meditation that I did for it. So you can still sign up for one of those programs and receive that bonus by January 11th. Awesome. So let's dive into tonight's content on fully living your passions and purpose. So from my experience with healing not only depression, headaches, sometimes I guess I would call it migraines, weight, excess weight, as well as multiple sclerosis. My experience was that fully living my passions and purpose was a necessary key or piece to healing all of those. So for you, I believe for you to truly, fully heal and then maintain that health, be happy and fulfilled, and even grow your business, for those of you that own businesses or are meant to, that we really need to spend time living our passions and purpose. So let me explain a little bit, just give you a definition for those of you who are new to me and my work. When I say passions, what I am referring to is those things that are fun, playful, fulfilling, those things that really light you up when you do them, when you spend time doing them. So for me, let me just give you a few examples. Some of my passions, besides doing the work that I do with you guys and with my community. So your purpose can be one of your passions, let me just say that. But it can't be the only passion. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But some of my passions are, believe it or not, trail running. I know some of you consider that exercise and work and a chore, but I love it. It's like meditation for me. It feels so good to move my body. Hiking, camping, just as much nature time as possible really for me is big. Also traveling and exploring new places is really, my soul just loves that. A few others, I love live music. Okay, so that's one of my passions. I also really love going to happy hour with my sweetie or my friends. I don't know why, I do. Sometimes we don't know what our passions are, but we just do. I also love to create. Right? I love to create my programs. I'm almost, towards the end of finishing my book, my first book. My second one's already there waiting. So I love creating, right? And I love coaching. I love snorkeling. I try to get to Hawaii and other warm places several times a year to snorkel. I love juju stuff is what we call it in my house. I'm passionate about personal growth, which feeds into my purpose, right? So that is what I mean by passions. Some people call them hobbies. So purpose, when I'm talking about purpose, specifically in my program with you guys, I'm talking about what you're here to do in the world as a contribution. Now, for a lot of you, that work and career is included in that. Okay, volunteering opportunities maybe for some of you. And for some of you, it might just be who you are every day with everybody that you come into contact with. Okay? But for a lot of you, this is also tied into your career and your business. Or your future business, career. So again, mine is coaching, teaching, speaking, spreading my message of healing alternatively, right? And trauma is a part of that, healing trauma. So illness, trauma, and also I help people to grow their businesses, right? I have a business program, which I fought. My ego didn't want to do that. So, but I do have a business program for coaches and healers as well, teaching them to grow like I did. So that is my purpose. Awesome. So not making time for your passions and fully living your purpose can cause a lot of issues. It can cause you to feel angry. You might be stuffing that, so you might not realize you're angry, but maybe you realize you're frustrated or annoyed or irritated and you're not sure why. Or maybe you know why. It could cause you to feel sad or depressed, right? So those emotions. And it can also then lead to feelings or symptoms in the body, right? Feelings, symptoms, I use those words, same meaning in my programs. And they can really cause headaches, migraines, pain, weight gain, and then, of course, chronic illness and diabetes. I want to throw that in there too, because diabetes and joy have a lot to do. Passions, joy have a lot to do. And then, of course, the whole range, right, of other quote-unquote symptoms or illnesses. So in a nutshell, that's why we want to spend time on this. And yes, we're really focusing in on it this month, but we really then incorporate it all year long. So, in my programs, we do focus on a key every month, but really we're then creating new habits and actions that support it throughout the year, right? It's not something we focus on and do for a year and then we stop and go to the next thing. Everything is connected, everything. So I want to go into giving you guys some examples of, I think next I want to go into giving you guys some more concrete examples of how. All right. Oh, Denise said there was a problem, but it's all good now. Oh, good. Just checking in to make sure my questions are working. And hello to all of everybody that's here. I'm just taking a look on my instant teleseminar back end and seeing all these wonderful people that are here live tonight. So I want to give you some specific examples as to how and what is caused by not living your passions and purpose. Depression. So from a mind, body, spirit perspective, depression is caused by anger at self and or not having enough joy and fulfillment in your life. Okay? Maybe both. And usually both go hand in hand. We, even if we're not aware of it, are angry. And oftentimes we blame other people, but essentially because we're coming from a place of being responsible, conscious people, not victims, we know that we're responsible for co-creating everything in our lives. Everything in our lives. We cannot place the blame on anybody else. So when we don't take the time, the money, the energy to fully live our passions and or our purpose, we are pissed and we beat ourselves up, right? Anger, self-criticism, all that. So depression in a nutshell, and of course when we work together I can give you more personalized coaching on that, but I'm just giving it to you in a nutshell right now. Okay? That is the number one cause of depression, and in this case, not living your passions and purpose. Okay. Another common symptom that most of you and my clients deal with is weight issues. Many of you, it's excess weight, but it can also affect those of you who are underweight. But I'm going to really focus on the excess weight today. Again, the emotion there is anger that we are storing in our body. Okay, anger and or stress, usually both. So anger again at ourselves because we're not taking time to nurture our passions and purpose. We're going to get all to why later, right? Why are we not doing that? We're going to get to why we don't spend time, money, and energy in our passions and purpose later in the call. But anger and then stress. Most of you are busy doing too much. And it may be your job, or it may just be doing maybe in your family, your community. It doesn't have to be your quote unquote work. I work with plenty of women that don't have jobs right now but are full-time moms. And some of you are trying to do both. And when you are not taking enough time to nurture your passions and purpose, right? It causes stress when you're doing too much. There's stress. There's not enough joy. There's not enough happiness, enough fulfillment. And what do? Many of you stuff with food and or alcohol. And some of you don't even need to do that to put on the weight. Just the emotion itself can create the weight. And then some of you add to that by stuffing with food and or alcohol. Okay? Food and or alcohol. Which of course causes more weight as well. So that's how it can cause us to have excess weight. Headaches and migraines. Okay, so some of you might suffer from headaches and or migraines. So again, headaches and migraines are due to self-criticism, blame, anger, pushing yourself too hard, migraines, and not having enough nurture you. And in this case, we're talking about passions and purpose. You're doing too much, you're working too much, not enough play. Or maybe like some of my clients, you work and you play, but you're not having enough rest. So that's a whole nother month, right? So, diabetes. That's one that I felt like I really needed to bring up today. So diabetes, huge with joy. Not enough sweetness or joy in your life. Okay. So again, a lot of us stuff it with food. Okay, sweeties, perhaps. So those people that come to work with me that have diabetes, you know, one of the first things we work on is bringing more real joy into their life. You know, what truly lights them up, passion and or purpose. Autoimmune, right? MS falls under that. Multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue syndrome, thyroid issues. Gosh, there's so many of them. Any autoimmune issue, okay? Fibromyalgia. It's, in a nutshell, us attacking ourselves. And you might say, well, how is that? Well, what's the connection? When we are not fully living our passions and purpose, that is a way of attacking ourselves. Okay? If you're spending too much time working, doing, that is not loving, that is not nurturing of you. So, again, that is a piece of you attacking yourself. So, autoimmune disorders. I want to talk a little bit more about thyroid. I have a lot of thyroid clients lately. So you might be wondering where the connection is here. And when you don't speak up, so thyroid issues have to do with speaking up. Too much or not enough. If you are speaking up too much on things that are not your business, right? That takes extra time and energy and maybe even, maybe money, maybe not. And you're not giving enough time to your passions and purpose when you do that. And then some of you are not speaking up enough so that you have the time, the money, the energy. Right? So there's kind of the flip side. So I just felt like really called to give you those examples for today. Of course, there are many more illnesses. There are many more symptoms. But those are like the ones I really felt drawn to today to talk about. So why do we ignore or not make time for our passions and purpose? And even if you do one and not the other, there's still an issue, right? So again, as I always say, awareness is key, but awareness with acceptance. You cannot beat yourself up for this, okay? I mean, you can, but I recommend not to. Because beating ourselves up only adds to the problem. So awareness is key to changing anything, and that's why you're here, listening, live or to the replay. So please, gosh, don't beat yourself up. Don't make yourself wrong. Okay, up until this point, you are where you are. Accept that. Okay, maybe you're new to this work. Maybe you're not new and you've been doing this work with me for a while. Progress, not perfection. Okay, that's a big big piece of what I teach. So typically it happens growing up. What we see and hear growing up, our parents, society, culture, lays the foundation for what we do or do not do, what we believe or do not believe. And we know that our beliefs cause us to act or not act in certain ways. So some examples, if growing up you saw or heard, like me,